In 2018, hundreds of people screamed for them at Bondi Beach. Signs, flowers, tears. A woman traveled from Brisbane on a 3:30 a.m. alarm just for the chance to be near them. The crowd was so thick and so loud that you could hear it on the other side of the beach. Harry and Meghan walked barefoot on the sand, leaves around their necks, the whole world watching, and Australia fell completely in love. That was then. Last Friday, Harry and Meghan returned to Bondi Beach. The cameras were there. The crowd gathered, and one woman lay flat on her towel, book open, sunglasses on, completely and utterly unbothered. Harry noticed her. He literally pointed at her, and she did not look up. The clip is 16 seconds long. It has been seen by millions of people, and depending on who you ask, it is either the funniest moment of the entire Australia tour, the most honest moment of the entire Australia tour, or both. If you have not subscribed yet and you want more of this kind of breakdown, do it now. One tap. Because this story has layers that the 16-second clip does not show you. Let's go. The Bondi visit happened on the final day of Harry and Meghan's 4-day tour of Australia. It was not a scheduled public appearance in the traditional sense. It came after a private meeting. And this part matters, so stay with me. With first responders and survivors of the Bondi Beach terror attack. The December 2026 attack in which 15 people were killed at one of the most beloved public spaces in Australia. That meeting was private. No press, no cameras inside. Just Harry and Meghan sitting with people who had lived through something genuinely traumatic in the place where it happened. That is real. That is the kind of engagement that does not make the viral clip. And it is worth saying plainly before we go any further into the sunbather story, because the two things happened on the same day, at the same location, and the context of one shapes how you read the other. After the private meeting, Harry and Meghan walked out onto the beach itself to meet volunteer lifeguards from the Bondi Surf Bathers Life-Saving Club, to be photographed by the ocean, to close the tour in one of the most iconic locations in Australia, and this is where she enters the story. An unnamed woman, lying on a towel in the sunshine, book in hand, completely absorbed in whatever she was reading. The crowd around her building. Media gathering. Security in position. Harry and Meghan walking along the boardwalk. The whole circus of a major public appearance unfolding approximately 2 meters from her head. And she did not look up. Not when the crowd gathered. Not when the cameras turned. Not when Harry paused and this is the detail that made the clip pointed directly at her with what appeared to be a mixture of amusement and disbelief. She turned a page. The internet lost its mind. Within hours, the woman had been dubbed the unbothered queen of Bondi. Calls for her to receive a medal circulated on Australian social media. One post describing her as the hero of the week racked up hundreds of thousands of views. Peak Bondi energy, someone wrote. This is the most Australian thing I have ever seen. She didn't flinch. She didn't even put the book down. Whoever she is, I want to be her. Now here is where I want to do something different from every other video covering this moment. Because most of what is out there is treating this as either a funny story about an unbothered local or a devastating indictment of the Sussex brand. And the truth, as it always is with Harry and Meghan, is more interesting than either of those clean readings. Let's start with the defense. Because it exists and it is fair. Some people online pointed out something that the viral framing quietly ignored. The woman may not have known what was happening. Bondi Beach is a public beach. People lie there with their books every single day. Nobody told her a royal couple was about to walk through her sightline. Nobody cleared the beach in advance. Nobody gave her the option to move or stay. She was just there, reading, minding her business. And a crowd showed up around her without warning. One person put it well. If she had stood up quickly, she might have been knocked over by the crowd that had formed around her. Staying flat on the towel was, in that reading, not a statement. It was just the safest thing to do. And another commenter added something that stuck with me. The whole event, they said, felt like the planning had not quite accounted for the fact that Bondi Beach on a Friday afternoon contains actual people who did not sign up to be part of anyone's photo opportunity. That is a legitimate observation. And it connects to something bigger about this tour that we will get to in a moment. But first, the other reading. The one that is making the clip so compelling to so many people. Because whether the woman knew or did not know, whether she chose to ignore them or simply could, not see what was happening around her. The image that the camera produced is specific and resonant in a way that cuts through any explanation. It is the image of Harry and Meghan walking past, someone who is not watching them. In a country where, in 2018, a woman set her alarm for 3:30 a.m. and flew interstate just for the chance to catch a glimpse of them. In a country where this tour has generated enormous debate about whether the couple's commercial operation is built on genuine warmth or performed proximity. In a country where a petition with 46,000 signatures said we do not want them here at taxpayer expense, and where Vox Pop interviews on Sydney streets produced the line, "Can I be honest and tell you I really don't think of them at all? One woman on a towel, reading a book." Not looking up, the internet did not just find it funny. The internet found it true. Or at least the internet found it feeling true. And in the attention economy, feeling true is what spreads. Now let's talk about the 2018 comparison. Because it is the comparison that makes this moment sting, if it stings at all, in a way that simple indifference cannot. At Bondi in 2018, the crowd was hundreds deep. Signs everywhere, screaming. A woman from Brisbane who had set her alarm at 3:30 a.m. Harry and Meghan barefoot in the sand, lays around their necks, sitting with a surfing community group that talked about mental health. And the whole thing feeling, genuinely, visibly feeling, like a celebration. Like Australia was throwing a party for two people it had decided to love. At Bondi in 2026, there was a crowd too. The lifeguards were warm. Some fans were genuinely excited. The private meeting with the terror attack survivors was real and meaningful. Harry and Meghan walked along the boardwalk, and the cameras followed them, and some people cheered, and one woman lay on her towel and read her book. The difference between those two Bondi moments is the difference between a brand at its peak and a brand in the complicated middle of trying to figure out what it still is. Not dead, not gone, not irrelevant, but no longer the thing that makes someone set an alarm at 3:30 a.m. and fly from Brisbane. And here is the thing about that shift that I think is genuinely worth sitting with. Because the easy conclusion, the one that a lot of commentary rushed to, is that this proves brand Sussex is finished. That Australia rejected them. That the woman on the towel is Australia's verdict. But that is not quite right either. And here is why. The same day that the sunbather clip went viral, something else was also happening online. Reports from inside the Bondi visit described a genuinely warm atmosphere with the lifeguarding community. The private meeting with the terror attack survivors was described by people involved as meaningful and respectful. And the broader tour, 4 days across 3 cities, had produced moments that moved people. Harry's speech about his mother at the Melbourne summit trended globally. The hospital visit overran by nearly an hour because Harry and Meghan kept stopping to talk to people. The Children's Hospital CEO said the visit was genuinely meaningful for his staff. Both things are true simultaneously. The woman who did not look up is real. And the moments where something genuine happened are also real. And the tension between those two things, between the indifference and the warmth, between the empty tables and the standing ovation, between the Call Me Meg and the Duchess of Sussex, is the full picture of this tour. The sunbather clip is 16 seconds. The full story is 6 years, and the full story is not the one where the brand is dead. And it is not the one where everything is fine. It is the one where something real and something performed keep happening side by side, and cameras keep catching both. And the world keeps arguing about which one is true. The woman on the towel did not deliver a verdict on Harry and Meghan. She just lived her life on a Friday afternoon at Bondi Beach while a crowd gathered around her. What the internet did with that image is the real story. The way millions of people saw in 16 seconds of a stranger reading a book exactly what they already believed about two people they have been watching for 6 years. That is the power of a perfect image. It does not create opinion. It confirms it. And somewhere right now, an unnamed woman on Bondi Beach is probably still reading her book. Completely unaware that she became the symbol of something. That she accidentally said more about where Harry and Meghan are in the public conversation than any op-ed or expert analysis has managed to say all week. She did not even look up. And honestly, neither of them could have scripted a more human ending to this tour if they had tried. Drop a comment and tell me which moment from the Australia tour stuck with you most. The hospital visit, the Diana speech, the 2-hour retreat, the unbothered Queen of Bondi,